Good evening, welcome to Central News. I'm Hilary Entwistle. In today's news, Project 270 has seen over 600 homes in the Waikato become warmer over this winter. The Waikato DHB initiative was set up to tackle the issues of child poverty in the region and is also feeding kids in schools. Project manager Dietrich Tamatea says, as the name suggests, there are over 270,000 children who live below the poverty line in New Zealand. So they would like to continue and obtain more funding for Project 270.
So ICA partly funds it, and then installation companies also seek third-party funding, additional funding, and that may come from a variety of different sources. Once they have that funding, they have the ability to insulate homes, both on the floor and the ceiling, for free, if people meet those criteria.
After a busy extended summer performing more than 5,500 hours of volunteer patrol, Mount Maunganui Surf Lifesaving Club is Club of the Year. The best surf lifeguards who patrol in the Bay of Plenty and Coromandel areas were honoured at the 2013 Bay of Plenty Coromandel Awards of Excellence on Saturday. One of the night's top awards, Club of the Year, was awarded to Mount Maunganui Surf Lifesaving Club. The award recognises the overall contribution a club makes across all aspects of lifesaving, sport and everyday club culture. Mount Maunganui Lifeguard Service General Manager Glenn Bradley says winning the prestigious award is great recognition of the club's achievements this year. Now for our region's weather. Hamilton, your Wednesday will become cloudy with a developing easterly. Your expected high is 15 and an overnight low of 4. Tauranga, your Wednesday will start off fine and then become cloudy with a strengthening easterly. Your expected high is 15 and an overnight low of 8. Just ahead, elephants on the road. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. Elephant versus Mouse is the name of the new road safety campaign for the Waikato Regional Council. I found out what the idea is behind the name.
Well, the drivers came up with the name Elephant versus Mouse, and they thought it was a good way to depict the size of trucks versus cars on the road. And usually a truck is about 4 times larger than a car, so it's something that you can visualise while you're on the road.
What are the statistics of road crashes in the region?
Okay, in the Waikato region, trucks are involved in 20% of the crashes, but in less than half of them, the driver is not at fault, the truck driver is not at fault.
Are they more likely to be fatal?
They are more likely to result in fatalities and serious injuries due to the sheer size of trucks and the weight.
You surveyed at the Truck Expo, so what were the main concerns that truck drivers were telling you?
The main concerns were the lack of indication, so people not indicating clearly. They felt that people weren't aware of the truck dimensions, and that was especially in relation to passing manoeuvres. Also the stopping distance, how long it takes a truck to stop.
How much of a freight thoroughfare is the Waikato?
The Waikato is a key freight region in New Zealand. It carries 25% of all road freight.
How long does it take the average truck and trailer to come to a complete stop if it's travelling 90 kilometres an hour?
Okay, all things being equal, when we're looking at a 44-tonne truck, the average stopping distance would be 120 metres for a truck to come to a complete standstill. And to put that in perspective, that is about the size of 1 1/4 rugby fields.
How far should we be able to see ahead when we want to pass a truck with 2 trailers?
So in a B train, you have, in the road code states, you have to have 100 metres of clear space ahead of you once you've finished your passing manoeuvre. So you have to account for the fact that it takes longer to pass a truck than a car in the first place, so that is a fairly long stretch that you need.
Mark, why did Te Kaupapa Transport want to get involved with the campaign?
Pretty much because we want New Zealand motorists to be safe on the roads. That's obviously got to be first and foremost. We want our drivers to be safe. We want them to come home from work and all in one piece, basically. So yeah, it's a great campaign, and we just want to support it.
What are your truck drivers' main concerns about other drivers on the road?
I think the main thing is that cars in front giving plenty of indication what they're doing. I mean, I talked to my drivers before this and said, you know, what are the issues here? And they said cars that just don't realise that, you know, there's got to be a distance between us. They indicate late, things such as that. Cars that slip in front of them, they're trying to maintain a good distance, and cars just dive in front of them all the time. Just really about motorists understanding about what a truck's, the size of the truck, as the campaign says, and how much it takes to manoeuvre a truck.
What are some good rules to apply when following a truck?
Just like anything really, is just maintaining a safe distance between the truck and yourself, so that, you know, if the truck has to take evasive action, then you've got plenty of stopping distance between it, and also understanding that, you know, you've got a truck in front of you, you can't see a lot of the road in front of you, so you've got to really take your indications from what the truck's doing. So just again, keeping that safe following distance.
And what about when we overtake a truck?
Well, like again, it's just, you know, you've got to make sure you've got plenty of visibility. The truck's 20 metres long. It's so you've got to take that into account. So you've got to have a very visible view of the road ahead. Just to make sure that you can see what's coming, and you've got plenty of safe distance to overtake the truck.
If a truck is fully loaded, how much longer does it take that truck to come to a complete stop?
Well, as we said before, you know, you're looking at a length of a football field to come to a complete standstill. That's a long distance, and there's a lot of variables in that. You know, wet roads, what the truck is carrying, you know, unfortunately, otherwise the condition of the truck, things such as that. So,
Monique, what are you guys doing for the campaign then?
Okay, so the Regional Education Group, of which I coordinate, so that's key road safety stakeholders in the region, and members of the target audience, of which Te Kaupapa Transport is one. This is a radio campaign, so there's radio ads about elephant versus mice, and there are truck backs. So on Te Kaupapa Transport's trucks, we have truck backs with the 4 key messages. We also have billboards on the state highway network. These are the 6x3 billboards, and they're on key freight routes, because of course the trucks are travelling on the key freight routes, and we advertise on our regional website.
Stay tuned, as up next we look at what is happening around town in Tauranga. Welcome back. The social calendar throughout winter can often leave much to be desired, so Amy Forrest caught up with a couple of people around Tauranga to find out what's going on in the region.
Hi Joe, now tell me, what is the Tauranga Arts Festival?
The Tauranga Arts Festival is held every 2 years, and it's 10 days of predominantly performing arts, so theatre, dance, music, got a circus show, and we have writers as well, and a visual arts program.
And can you give us a bit of history into this festival?
The festival, the first festival was held in 1999, and it was organised because there were people who thought that there wasn't enough performing arts coming to Tauranga, so it was a way of bringing work here that wouldn't normally come to Tauranga.
So what is the main focus behind the festival this year?
Well, every festival we're a bit the same. We want as many people to come as possible, so we try and program something for everybody. So we have children's shows, we have a schools program where performers go into the schools, we have a free community day with street theatre, we've got a visual arts performance. So there's a balance between paid, you know, work that you pay to go and see, and free events as well.
And who is the main audience for the festival?
Well, we think the festival's for everybody. We want everybody to come and have fun, and we think that we program work for young and old and for children and for every kind of person. We think that we want to have something for all of them.
And are you able to tell us about some of the acts that are organised for this year's festival?
Well, we launched the program proper on the 14th of August, so we have a big reveal an evening where we present the program. But we've got a few things that I can talk about. We've got a wonderful show from a company in Auckland called Massive Company, who work with youth, and their work is called The Brave, and it's about 8 men talking about what it means to be a man. and it's very moving. It's on tour shortly and will be at the end of that tour. It's been played in Auckland. Sam Neill said it was the best show he'd ever seen. So we're very excited to bring that, and that's a work that will be great for high school students as well as adults.
So how does the festival get supported?
We're very fortunate. We get sponsorship from local businesses and our box office, and we also get money from grants. TECT are one of our major funders, and the City Council, Creative New Zealand, and then we have local sponsors and patrons, and then our box office. So it's about a 30% split. And we like to get the sponsorship and the grants because it enables us to keep the ticket prices very reasonable.
And are there any local sponsors that you'd like to mention?
We're very lucky with our local sponsors. The Port of Tauranga have been a sponsor of the festival right from the start, as have Sharp Tudhope. And we've got other good companies in Tauranga, Renane Hollister Jones Lauman, Hobeck, Craig's, ANZ Bank, SBS Bank. Yeah, fantastic. We're really lucky with our support.
So if people are wanting to come along in October, how can they find out more information?
They can go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. The website's www.taurangafestival.co.nz. We do a regular newsletter with up-to-date information, and you can, if you sign up for the newsletter, you can go on to a draw to win tickets and all kinds of things. We have a Facebook page and Twitter as well, so all of those places.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you.
Hi Penelope. Now tell me, how long has the Tauranga Art Gallery been operating for?
Well, the gallery opened in October 2007, so we've been open just over 5.5 years, which is very exciting for Tauranga because before that we didn't have an art gallery. And it's as you'll probably see, it's a very sort of a cube-like building. It was actually a BNZ building, and there's been a BNZ bank on this corner since 1873. So the building was completely refurbished, and now we have this fantastic gallery here.
And do you just display local artists?
No, not at all. No, we're a public art gallery, so we exhibit local artists, artists from the greater region, national artists, and sometimes artists with an international connection. So as a public art gallery, like you might find in Auckland or Te Papa in Wellington, we don't just serve the local artists, but we're really here to showcase a wide variety of art, and part of that, I suppose, is educating, inducting our local artists as well. But having said that, they do have the opportunity to exhibit, and we've just had an exhibition by Ray Katran, who's a Tauriko artist, and every second year we have the Miles Art Award, where entries come from the Bay of Plenty, and people can, it's a bit like a competition, they put in a work, and if they're selected, they get to exhibit here in the art gallery, and there are prizes.
And how often do you change the exhibits?
Well, in the last year we've actually had 17 exhibitions, so it depends on what we're showing, how we're showing it, but sometimes we can change things every 6 to 8 weeks. There could be something new. We never like to close the gallery. We always like to have something new and exciting for people to see.
So tell me, what is happening right now at the Tauranga Art Gallery?
Well, at the moment it's really exciting because we've got a Jeff Thompson exhibition called Corrugations, the Art of Jeff Thompson, and that's a retrospective exhibition. Jeff, as some of you probably will know, has worked in corrugated iron for 3 decades now, and a lot of his work I think the public hasn't actually seen. And for instance, I'm standing here next to a house, a little model house. When he was working in Wanganui, he actually he went around and he talked to people and said, can I redo your gutterine or whatever, and he made beautiful, screen printed gutterine, roofing iron, and so there are some beautiful roofs down there in Wanganui. So there are aspects of his work here that the public probably haven't seen, but I've curated it around process, and Jeff is amazing at how he pushes the boundaries. We think corrugated iron, we think of sheets of corrugated iron on farm, barns, etc., but he can weave with it, he French knits with it, he makes doilies out of it, he covers cars, and you name it, he can do it. So that's a wonderful retrospective that we've got on, and as I say, we've curated it ourselves, so we are the inaugural gallery that will show the exhibition. We've also got another exhibition on called Painting Mauao, which is about Mount Maunganui and how it's been painted since the 1860s, right up to some very contemporary works which include a digital projection. So people have found that very exciting because, of course, the mount has changed over time, the vegetation and how artists have seen it. So that's also, I suppose, an exhibition about our local environment.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. So how do you also involve schools with the art gallery?
Right, well, schools are very much part of the gallery program, and I can say that we are booked back to back for most terms actually. In fact, we've got double up, so sometimes 4 and 5 classes a day. In the last year, we've had close to 9,000 children visit the art gallery, which is an amazing number for a region of this size, and all those children travel on a free art bus that we supply for them, so no school is excluded, and all the lessons are tailored around the national curriculum and what exhibitions we have on at that time. So I suppose, you know, we put a lot of focus into our school children because they are our next sort of audience, our next generation.
So if people are wanting to come and check out the art gallery or find out more information, how can they do so?
Right, we're open every day of the year, and the best thing is to visit our website and just Google Tauranga Art Gallery. We have a great website and Facebook page and education portal, and we keep that pretty up to date with what we've got on exhibition and also what events that we might have running in connection with exhibitions, or in fact sometimes we have standalone events as well. Like recently we had Antiques Roadshow here, which was very exciting. So.
Those dates again, tickets are on sale from August the 14th. The festival is held over October the 24th to November the 3rd. Coming up next, we look at the biodiversity of the Bay of Plenty. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. The Bay of Plenty has a high level of biodiversity, but what exactly does biodiversity mean?
Biodiversity is short for biological diversity, and it's basically those groups of plants, animals, insects, fish and microorganisms that live in a particular area and will often have quite complicated interrelationships between each other to thrive.
What is Bay of Plenty's biodiversity then?
In the Bay of Plenty we've got 206 high value sites that we've mapped out. Those are the ones that's the best of the best, and of course in between that there's a lot of other stuff that we don't know about, particularly around on private land and farms and things. But some of the highlights of the stuff that we have got, we've got the four birds that are thriving here, which is kōkako, kiriru, kaka and the kiwi. So they're kind of like strongholds for those birds in the Bay of Plenty. We've got really good examples of coastal and inland pohutukawa forests. We've got the largest tract of indigenous forest which runs from Whirinaki through to the East Cape. And we've got some really good examples of geothermal and frost flat vegetation which is up on the plateau.
Why should we protect that?
Biodiversity also provides a number of ecosystem services such as tourism. We've got the commercial products that we can get out of biodiversity, forests and things like that. We've got erosion control and flood mitigation by keeping the biodiversity intact and healthy, and those things all will help quite a lot with ensuring we've got cleaner water as well, especially the wetlands and things that we have. So it does play a big part like that. It's also, you know, it's the cornerstone of our natural heritage as well. And so sometimes it's just the right thing to do to protect that stuff, and it's also it future-proofs us for the next generations as well, so that we continue to have those things that we enjoy now for the next generation. So.
Some landowners may not know that their land actually has quite a high level of biodiversity. What would you like them to know?
Yeah, look, I think if they've got something special or a natural feature on their property that they think is worth protecting and they want to protect it, they need to go and get some expert advice on that. So, for instance, they can hire their own consultant ecologist if they want to go that way. The Department of Conservation has a lot of people who can give good advice on it, and the Regional Council as well provides support and expert advice on it. So we do have mechanisms and programs in place where we can often help landowners protect those features.
How can landowners protect their land from weeds?
Well, it depends on the level of infestation and what threat that infestation is having. If it's a threat to the production values of that land, that's probably more a landowner concern who needs to go and get some advice on how to deal with that stuff. From a biodiversity perspective, if the weeds are a threat to a natural habitat, especially in one of the high value ecological areas I sort of mentioned before, then the Regional Council has got programs in place where by protecting the biodiversity, we're also making sure that we protect the habitat by controlling the threats to that habitat, which is weeds and pest animals.
Why is it so important for landowners to pollution-proof their land?
I think it's not just important for the landowners. The landowner's part of a wider community, and I think we've all got a responsibility to make sure we keep pollution down to a minimum, particularly if you're the one causing that pollution. Whether you're doing it on purpose or not, you still have a responsibility to mitigate against pollution, and sometimes it's not that easy. But at the end of the day, there are agencies and people in place that can help you do that, and it might be as simple as changing your farm practice. It might be as simple as making sure that what you're putting into the landfill is what's supposed to go in there, and managing your agrochemicals. There's a whole big long list of it. The pollution that we deal with mainly in the land management section is the sediment and the nutrients. So it's the byproducts of farming, really.
How can landowners protect the quality of their soil?
Protecting the quality of soil is really important because it takes so long to form, and if you don't do that, if you haven't got good soil, you're not going to grow very good things, or you're going to have to fork out rather expensive interventions to get that fertility up and to protect it. So I think regular soil testing to make sure that you've got the right nutrients going on at the right time, and I think keeping the erosion, managing your erosion and your stock numbers so that you're maintaining healthy soil is probably the key.
You can view any of the Bay of Plenty Regional Council's toolkits on their website, boprc.gov.nz. That is your news today. You can watch this episode again on our website. If you have some news of your own, or you want to let us know what you think on some of tonight's topics, you can like us on Facebook or email us. I will be back tomorrow night with more of your news from the Waikato and the Bay of Plenty. I am Hilary Entwistle. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.